Rawalpindi City on Monday, where a group stormed a KFC outlet. To ensure businesses are protected against escalating vandalism, the government has deployed police outside major international franchises like McDonald's and Burger King. Hira Mustafa, Islamabad.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. It is a Wednesday, the 16th day of April for 2025. Ready to get your day started the right way with all of your news, weather, and sports here this morning. Going to be talking about the Nebraska baseball team. They went into Omaha last night, beat the Creighton Blue Jays by the score of 6-3. Former Nebraska volleyball libero Lexi Rodriguez made history last night, becoming the first Nebraska volleyball student athlete to win the AAU James E. Sullivan Award. We'll tell you about that coming up. Had some high school baseball yesterday. Hastings High winning in the quarterfinals of the Eastern Midlands Conference Baseball Tournament. Meanwhile, Adams Central going on the road yesterday, falling behind early, clawed their way back into the ball game, but could not complete the comeback. They lost to Seward yesterday by a score of 7-6. So those are just some of the things we'll be talking about here this morning. Plus, we've got some comments coming up from Nebraska defensive coordinator John Butler here this morning as the Huskers continue their spring workouts in Lincoln. So all that and more coming up on the sports scene here today as we check in with Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios here this morning. Good morning.
And a good morning to you, Mike, as we get going here on this Wednesday morning, where St. Louis Blues have clinched a spot in the Western Conference playoffs, joining the Minnesota Wild in a wild night of hockey. The Wild needing overtime to clinch their playoff berth, but were able to pick up the winner there. And St. Louis easily cruising in regulation as they knock off the Utah Hockey Club in a undressing of sorts. And so St. Louis into the postseason, and you wouldn't have placed a bet on them at the midway point of the NHL season, as they were kind of cellar dwellers in the Western Conference. Shades of 2019, as we have our 2019 St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup Championship shirt on. Pretty much the deja vu if you're a hockey fan or remember what 2019 was like, from dead-ass last to hoisting the Stanley Cup trophy. A lot of folks in St. Louis and hockey fans in general pretty excited for the playoffs to get underway.
Exactly 2 minutes. Exactly 2 minutes it took for you to bring up the St. Louis Blues. I noticed that they won last night. They clinched. I thought, how soon would it be before Tyson mentions that's tomorrow? And it's exactly 2 minutes.
That's how we open the show. That's what I've got news on my end. I mean, I could take the newscast and just talk a little bit about the St. Louis Blues game some more last night. But yeah, on the news front, we'll head over to the University of Nebraska Kearney campus. They've got some exciting projects that are going to be going on. And then on honor for a longtime Hastings Airport employee. And we'll also dive into what's going on at the Nebraska legislature. So that coming on the news front. But we're all smiles over here on the Western Studios today because we're in the postseason, baby.
NBA last night had a couple of play-in games for their playoffs. Orlando beat Atlanta 120-95, and Golden State got by Memphis 121-116. So Orlando and Golden State will move on. Tonight, Miami plays at Chicago, and Dallas is at Sacramento. Not a lot of uproar for the NBA play-in games last night, but those are the results. Orlando moving on. Golden State's moving on tonight to get Miami and Chicago, and Dallas at Sacramento. I'm with you. I see that the regular playoffs, the series, they start this weekend. So
yeah, when's that actually get underway?
This weekend.
Okay.
402-834-1330 is our telephone number if you'd like to join us anytime during this hour. 402-834-1330. If you'd like to chime in on one of our social media sites, you can do that too. We're monitoring all the comments on the social media as well. Wanted to come up and get your reaction to this. I saw this yesterday. I thought, Colorado two-way starter Travis Hunter told CBS Sports yesterday that none of the teams that he has met in the weeks ahead of the NFL draft has made an issue of him playing on both offense and defense. He did that, of course, at Colorado. He wants to do it in the NFL. He says if an NFL team if drafts him and will not allow him to play on both offense or defense, it would be game over for him. He wouldn't play.
Wow. You're going to hold out on an NFL contract because you want to play more football? Like, you want to get beat up some more in the National Football League? I mean, I think it lasts a year, and then he personally reevaluates it and realizes, oh, wow, these are the we're getting top 25 caliber competition, and I'm getting that kind of physical beatdown every single week. And then I think you make that shift. But I've got no problem if the kid wants to do it. And he's got the weapons too. He's certainly talented. But we've seen putting high demands and what that's done for players in the football business. And when I speak of the football business, you just flip over and look at Tennessee, right? He holds out of camp and spring ball. Tennessee says so long to their quarterback. And now he can't get any traction in the transfer portal because nobody wants to deal with him because his demands are too high. I hate putting like an exclamation point at the end of your statements when you say, I'm playing offense, defense, or I'm not playing. You got to broaden your horizons. And also, when they sign you over that pretty check and you go and cash that and run that baby to the bank, you start to think a little bit differently on how teams run in their locker room. So, I don't know. I could see him maybe trying it out this first year and giving it a go at some wide receiver and defensive back position. But no, I can't see him with the longevity if he wants to be in this baby for the long haul, continuing to be a two-way athlete.
Didn't Deion Sanders, he was the last player to really try this?
You packaged Deion a little bit, you know? I mean, he was thrown in a couple different mixes in the Dallas offense. He gave it a go. And limited success, but he was always a defensive back first. And I think Travis Hunter is going to be a defensive back first.
I could see him returning kicks.
Sure. Yeah.
So anyway, Hunter played 713 snaps on offense and 748 on defense for the Buffaloes in 2024. First player since at least 1976 with at least 500 receiving yards and at least 4 interceptions in a single season on defense, according to the ESPN research. So,
speaking of Colorado, I don't know if you caught this over the weekend. They're retiring Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter's numbers.
Already?
Already. They haven't done anything really in the pros. They, quite frankly, didn't get to a playoff berth. Fell far short of the expected buzz around Colorado, but they're going to go ahead and retire those two numbers for helping turn the program around.
Are they turned around?
What marks a turnaround?
Yeah, they were at the bottom. Now they won a couple of games. The first season there, Deion won a couple of games. They got the momentum rolling. They were on TV about every damn week in the first couple of weeks of his tenure there at Colorado. And then they kind of faded away.
Yeah.
They kind of faded away and didn't do much, didn't make the playoffs, so to speak. They went to a bowl game, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they went. I mean, they went bowling, but it was far short of expectations. Certainly far short of the media circus that surrounded that place for the first 6 weeks of the season. Maybe Oregon kind of helped that out when Oregon went in and kicked their butts.
Maybe they just didn't need those numbers anymore. Let's just retire these numbers.
2-12, you're out of here.
You're out of here. You're out of here. So that's just some of the things that is going on behind the scenes, so to speak. Nebraska baseball They go into Omaha last night. They beat Creighton by the score of 6-3. Again, we didn't have a very good starting pitching. Ryan Harrahill surrendered a pair of runs in just one inning of work. And the relievers finished out the ball game and kept Creighton at bay, so to speak. The Huskers win 6-3. So Nebraska now 17-20 on the season. They'll host Northwestern in a 3-game series coming up this weekend. So you feel better now that Nebraska goes in and knocks off Creighton?
We got the win, and I think that's obviously the most important thing at the end of the day. But that was another bullpen burner. I mean, we went through so many pitchers that you'd love to save up and be fresh and be ready to go for this weekend series that we're going to have to call and rely upon on some tired arms and short rest. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked. And I'm not a hater. Like, trust me, I love Nebraska baseball. But based on, you have these midweek bullpen burners, you look up, I wouldn't be shocked if Northwestern took 2 or 3 this weekend. I wouldn't be. I mean, and the way the way this baseball team has trended, where it's been 1 step forward, 2 steps back, until we can start to string together some wins, I'm not going to come out with a whole lot of confidence because we pick up a midweek win. I mean, woohoo, we've done it before. We beat our in-state rivals that we should be beating every year for Nebraska, and now we split the series with them.
All right, so
it's not that huge of a win for me.
Yeah, a lot of coaches like to burn some guys out of the pen during the week to take a look at them. But
sure,
God, one inning of work for your starter and the Harrahill. He gives up 2 runs in that 1 inning. Not like he had a strong 1 inning of work. Let's get him out of there. Let's save him for the weekend and get some guys some innings. Hell no, he gave up 2 runs.
It was 2-2 and. Hell, it was 3-3 when I turned it on. I mean, it was one of those kind of back and forth games, and I said, "Oh no, here we go again. We'll just trot out 7 different pitchers in this game."
And that's what they did.
But kudos to them to picking up the W.
Yeah, I don't know if it was 7, but they just kept wheeling them out there. So, anyway, Huskers winning last night. And then I wanted to mention this Lexi Rodriguez, former Nebraska volleyball player. She made history last night, won the AAU James E. Sullivan Award. That's presented each year to the most exceptional athletes at the collegiate, Olympic, or other elite level of sports in the United States. Rulon Gardner, the wrestler, was the only other Nebraska student athlete to receive this award. Not our Heisman Trophy winners that we had here, but Rulon Gardner and now Lexi Rodriguez, the only ones that have won this award. She joins a renowned list of recipients. Last year, Caitlin Clark became the first 2-time winner of this award. So kudos to Lexi Rodriguez, still receiving the hardware. Won the AAU James E. Sullivan Award last night, as presented by the New York Athletic Club. She won the 95th AAU Sullivan Award last night.
Pretty good company when you're in names of Caitlin Clark and Rulon Gardner as previous winners to that award. So good for her.
Yeah, not even our Heisman Trophy winners. Johnny Rogers.
Sure.
He didn't win it. So anyway, elite group for Lexi Rodriguez. Baseball last night, just quickly, Hastings High wins over Elkhorn North, 5-4 in the quarterfinals of the Eastern Midlands Conference Baseball Tournament out of Duncan Field. So Hastings will move on, and now they'll play top-seeded Bennington in the semifinals tomorrow. The first pitch will be at 4:30 in Bennington. Adams Central was on the road yesterday. We talked with head coach Tim Stroman yesterday on the show. Anyway, the Patriots went into Seward, fell behind early, 7-1 after 3 innings. AC clawing their way back into the ball game with a run in the 4th and 4 in the 6th, but could not complete the comeback as the Patriots lose 7-6 to Seward. So Adams Central now 10-4 in the season. They will host Aurora coming up tomorrow, 4:30 starting time at the Smith Complex. So that's what's going on in high school baseball. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number. If you want to join us here today, 402-834-1330. Again, we'll take your comments, questions on the social media sites as well. You want to leave us a message?
There we go. That sounds a lot better. My mic was coming in. It was coming in a little hot this morning.
Are you having problems again?
No, my mic was just hot.
I thought you sounded good today.
Oh, no.
I thought you sounded good, getting off with your St. Louis Blues. Yeah, you're all right now.
Just mix the levels down, providing a little more bass here for your morning pleasure this morning.
It's 7:14. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here today. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We'll start off in Kearney, where in addition to U.S. Highway 30 near the University of Nebraska at Kearney campus will improve pedestrian safety in the high-traffic area. Work started last month on a $3.5 million project that will add a roundabout at the intersection of Highway 30 and University Drive, the main entrance to the University Village development. This change will make the intersection safer for pedestrians and easier to navigate for motorists exiting University Village and University of Nebraska Kearney's West Campus. The entire project, including landscaping, will wrap up by mid-November. UNK is providing about $1.5 million for funding for the improvements, with the state of Nebraska contributing around another $1.5 million, and the city of Kearney paying about $380,000. Meanwhile, Glenn Bretthauer, longtime stalwart of the Hastings Municipal Airport, was honored earlier this year with induction into the Nebraska Aviation Council Hall of Fame. He's held several roles at the airport over the years, those roles including operating fixed-base operations in the 1990s, as well as working as a mechanic on the field for several years. Bretthauer, a certified flight instructor, has also trained several pilots to fly, as well as kept several pilots current on training over the years. And we head out to the state capitol, where a proposal to change how the remains for elective abortions are disposed of is moving forward in the Nebraska legislature. Senator Dan Lanowski, who made the bill his personal priority for the session, said the legislation doesn't limit the right to abortion, but critics say it's a backdoor attempt to ban the practice in Nebraska. Coming up on 7:17, we'll swing things over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, the Nebraska baseball team beat Creighton 6-3 last night at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha. Nebraska scored 6 runs on 12 hits, while Creighton totaled 3 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. Dylan Carey went 3 for 3 at the plate with 2 doubles and a pair of RBIs. Ryan Harrahill was the starting pitcher and surrendered a pair of runs in just 1 inning of work. Nebraska now 17-20 on the season and will host Northwestern in a 3-game series coming up this weekend. Former Nebraska volleyball libero Lexi Rodriguez made history last night, becoming the first Nebraska volleyball student athlete to win the AAU James E. Sullivan Award, presented each year to the most exceptional athlete at the collegiate, Olympic, or other elite level of sports in the United States. Ruline Gardner is the only other Nebraska student athlete to receive the award. Rodriguez joins a renowned list of recipients. Last year, Caitlin Clark became the first 2-time winner of this award. Rodriguez was announced the winner of the 95th AAU Sullivan Award at the New York Athletic Club. Hastings High baseball team beat Elkhorn North 5-4 yesterday in the quarterfinals of the Eastern Midlands Conference Baseball Tournament out at Duncan Field. Elliott Sidlow was the winning pitcher. He threw 5 innings and gave up 4 runs and 5 hits. He struck out 3 and walked 4. Royer DeLaura and Isaiah Shaw had 1 hit and 1 RBI apiece. Hastings is now 8-4 in the season and will play at top-seeded Bennington in the semifinals tomorrow. First pitch will be at 4:30. The Adams Central baseball team lost to Seward 7-6 yesterday. Patriots fell behind 7-1 after just 3 innings. They clawed their way back into the game with 1 run in the 4th and 4 in the 6th, but could not complete the comeback. Cohen Rader was the losing pitcher for the Patriots. He worked 3 innings and gave up 7 runs and 8 hits. He struck out 2 and walked 1. Aiden Krejci threw 3 scoreless innings of relief. Jacob Reichstein, Nick Musel, and Liam Dyer had 2 hits apiece. Adams Central is now 10-4 in the season. They'll play host to Aurora on Thursday. First pitch will be at 4:30 at the Smith Complex. Elsewhere in high school baseball from yesterday, Central City Centura beat Crete by a score of 6-2. Kearney defeated Lincoln Northeast 8-3. Grand Island rolled past Norfolk 10-2, and St. Paul Palmer edged Twin River by a score of 5-4. And again, in the NBA playoffs last night in the play-in games, Orlando beat Atlanta 120-95, and Golden State got by Memphis 121-116. Tonight, Miami plays at Chicago, and Dallas is at Sacramento. That's a chunk in your sports headlines coming up on 7:20 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Wednesday, it'll be the warmest day of the week, and guess what? The winds return as well. Hey everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Weather TV. 83 is the high on this Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine. Southerly winds 10 to 15, gusting into the mid-20s. Overnight tonight, we increase chances for a few area showers and thunderstorms, a low of 56. 84 as well on Thursday, and then chances of a few passing showers and thunderstorms in the evening. Some could be severe. Large hail, damaging winds, the main threats.
As you wake up, get going this morning. South winds at 12 miles per hour. It is 46 at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Get ready, race fans. Cam Raceway is teaming up with Extreme Sports for an electrifying season of high-speed, dirt-slinging, adrenaline-pumping action. Every race night, we're bringing you live video coverage straight from the track, so you won't miss a single lap, pass, or photo finish. From non-wing warriors to cage karts, flat karts, and the A-class wing beasts, we've got it all. There's nothing like the roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the rush of dirt flying action right in front of you. So get to the track and experience it live. But if you can't make it, don't sweat. Extreme Sports has you covered. Buckle up, because this season is going to be fast, fierce, and unforgettable. Make sure you like and follow Extreme Sports on Facebook to get all the latest updates, and we will see you at the track.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson O'Bronick with you. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Wednesday, the 16th day of April for 2025. Again, thanks for joining us, whether you're listening to us online on our website at x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app, maybe on your smart speaker, on the Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, we're everywhere. Again, leave us a message if you'd like. We're monitoring those comments as they come in. 402-834-1330 is your telephone number if you'd like to join us online. Either something sports-related, something we've been talking about so far this morning, or something completely off of the cuff. Just something that's on your mind, like you've had enough. You paid your taxes yesterday, and you've had enough. If you want to vent your frustrations, give us a call. Yeah, I made that trip yesterday, made it to the post office in time.
Just sign the check in blood to Uncle Sam. Made my hard-earned work in blood, sweat, and tears all into this check. Give it right back to you.
Yeah, just kiss it goodbye.
Glad I worked my ass off over the last 365 days to have to pay you.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier this week, no depression anytime soon. Don't worry. Mike and Tyson have fully funded the government to operate at least for the next month. With our expenditures that we just signed over. Ranting on a completely different subject, we could talk about bananas today. On this 16th day of April, it is National Bananas Day today, as we celebrate the fine fruit that you eat when you have a cramp. It is also National Librarians Day, National Bookmobile Day today. Pretty sure those two are related somehow. And we have Save the Elephant Day, because, those are endangered. And let's see, one more. Oh, it is Wear Your Pajamas to Work Day. I missed the memo.
Well, I'm not.
Pajamas to work.
I don't know if I have my pajamas on.
But you don't have your Sunday best.
No, I don't have my Sunday. No, certainly not. But I don't know if these are my pajamas. I don't even really have a pair of pajamas. I got like sleep pants.
Yeah.
But I don't have pajamas like
the comfy, cozy pajama pants
with the feet in them.
Oh no, just the comfy, cozy pajama pants.
Yeah, my red pajama bottoms with feet in them, and my red top. I gave that up a couple of years ago, not that long ago.
Had like matching pajamas that you used to wear around the house
with feet in them.
Oh God.
Well, sometimes it gets cold.
Poor thing.
My floor gets cold sometimes during the winter.
Put on a pair of socks.
Then you're not ready for bed.
What?
Do you wear socks to bed?
Sometimes.
I don't wear socks to bed.
That's weird.
No, I don't wear socks to bed.
If it's cold enough and I'm too cheap to turn on the thermostat,
which is about every night of the winter. Too cheap to turn up the thermostat.
Oh, not during the winter. No, that.
I noticed when I was at the Western Studios yesterday. Perhaps is your lawnmower working?
Yeah, that's the day's assignment. That's on today's agenda. Gonna have to cut bright and early. It grows fast.
This time of the year?
It grows fast this time of the year. I was putting it off last weekend. It was getting a little bit high, and I'm sitting here looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, that could probably wait another week. I got to yesterday. I looked out as I was getting ready to head it off for class. I'm like, oh, this looks awful. This looks like a damn jungle.
Well, the problem is now it's a little taller and it's going to be tougher to cut.
Well, that's all right. Just switch the blade on the mower, raise it up a little bit.
No, you don't raise. You
raise
the
up
mower.
the blade. Yeah.
Well, then you'll be mowing. You'll be mowing again this weekend.
Then you lower it back down.
Put it back down. You want to mow it twice?
Might have to.
Kind of noticing that yesterday when I was over.
Yeah, it's a little bit high. I know.
Studios.
Thanks for noticing.
Well, you don't have many. You don't have very many dandelions, though. I was very impressed by that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of weeds. Not a lot of weeds. I'm growing flowers in the backyard. Somehow there's a flower bed. I didn't plant any flowers. These are things that just
come up every year. Yeah, they come up
unexpectedly. I didn't know I had a flower bed. It wasn't there last year, but they sprung right up. And I'm like, all right, well, that's one less thing I have to mow.
So now you got to take care of those flowers.
I'm not taking care of them.
If they live, they live. If they
live, great. If not,
you got to at least water them. Got to at least water them.
I ain't watering them. That's where bees come from. I'm allergic to bees.
Mother Nature might take care of that for you this weekend.
See Chance of wipe it out.
7:29. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. Let's talk some Husker football. John Butler, The defensive coordinator for the Huskers was before us yesterday in Lincoln as the Huskers continue their spring workouts. And the coach says he feels good about the Nebraska defense after Saturday's scrimmage.
Yeah, the scrimmage was awesome. We had like 86 plays. Tons of stuff came up. Obviously, when you're in a team setting, lots of stuff to coach off of from a technique standpoint, from an execution effort standpoint. You know, the installation's been pretty much in for the majority of really after the 5th or 6th practice, and I'd say now I'm either tweaking things or, hey, let's maybe try this because this is working, you know, experimenting a little bit with some scheme stuff, experimenting with a little bit of personnel stuff, because I think we're pretty comfortable, you know, where we're at from a menu or from a game plan standpoint. And then it's really just kind of continuing to emphasize the collectiveness of your defense to make sure that everybody's playing on the same page, executing as 11. The best defenses I've been associated with are not just have great players, obviously, and good schemes, but they play well together. So I think that's where the last, you know, 4 or 5 practices, days, we have, you know, it's not just the practices too, though. It's the meetings, it's the walkthroughs. It's just kind of continuing to galvanize that unit collectively.
And the coach says he feels pretty good as well about the pass defense.
You know, I think we've been, if you look at the numbers, we've been, you know, playing some pretty good man coverage. I think some of the additions we have in the secondary have allowed us to do that. And then we've kind of moved some guys around, and that's helped us. I think we've got some pretty good blitzers that we've been utilizing in different spots that I'm excited about, you know. So those 2 areas I think are things that just kind of initially stand out, and I think the continued development of our defensive line has been good. You know, Terry's doing a nice job with Phil, and I think those guys are coming along. Since obviously that's an area of, you know, that we lost some guys last year, but I think that they're getting better. So they would be the 3 areas that just kind of popping off of my head.
And the coach also talked about the depth that they're developing in the secondary.
Well, I think it's a long way away from the end of the season even, because you kind of wondered where you were at, and then we added some pieces, and I would say all those pieces that we've added, not only in the secondary but on our defense, we're excited about. And we do feel like we've got, just as Matt said, those 6-ish guys that have gotten reps with the ones in different kind of scenarios. And some of them have played some other positions too, which helps us, allow us maybe to play at times 3 corners on the field, or obviously 3 true safeties. So it allows us to kind of put different pieces to the puzzle together. But I would say that unit collectively, as not only the numbers of it, but also how they've performed has been an area I think that should be a strength for us, you know, and that's kind of, you guys have asked me about Snow a little bit, and that leads into that a little bit. Like, you know, he has so much experience at other places with Matt, and so I'm constantly saying, okay, where do you think we are relative to this place, or where do you think we are relative to your, and, you know, that's kind of some good feedback, and I think we're in a pretty good spot right now, and with our back 7, really, not only just our secondary, but we're probably, you know, 3 deep at 2 linebacker positions that, and some of those guys add some pretty good versatility.
Now, the defensive line is a different story.
Yeah, I think that's a continued, you know, work in progress. I think there are some guys that have solidified themselves as probably frontline players, but I think we have numbers there that we are trying to kind of stack, so to speak. Where is this guy after 10 practices? I think that's probably something maybe more so than the back 7 that's really going to probably take its way all the way through training camp, just because, you know, the grind of that position, the health that's needed at that position, I think will affect things. And then obviously I think we have a couple young players coming in at that position that, you know, may end up helping us, you know. So I think there'll be some maybe more fluidity there than maybe there is in the back 7.
And the coach says he likes the way the team is practicing this spring.
I've only worked with Matt for a full season, a training camp, a full season, and a spring. And I would say that is the level of physicality that he demands is elite, meaning that we are going to practice very hard. We're going to maximize the value of every single period There's going to be a physical element in every one of them, whether it's individual, special teams, 9-on-7, perimeter. Like there's really, the only time we're jogging through and running through is right before practice. Other than that, everything is physical. And I told him that as the season was going last year. I mean, I think that's obviously a trait that his teams have always had, and now you know why. Because in order to be physical, you have to practice physical. You can't practice at a certain tempo and then expect that tempo is going to reflect itself, come games. So I would say that would be my first impression just overall. But somebody said, why has Matt had so much success? I'm like, it's because we practice hard and we practice physical, we practice tough. And I think that shows itself on what I saw from afar in his teams at Temple and Baylor, and then obviously what we're going to be about and have been about here.
All right, so that's John Butler. As the Huskers continue their spring workouts in Lincoln. They're kind of winding down, and then they'll take 6-8 weeks off, return into June for their summer workouts, and then before you know it, we'll be into fall camp. That's what's the latest on the Huskers. One more big old gulp. One more gulp of the Roulade here this morning.
We'll take a tiny sip on the defense.
Just a tiny sip?
The defensive line being a work in progress, that kind of scares me a little bit, but piecing things together.
Secondary is looking good. They've got several guys that could see some playing time back there. Mm-hmm. Feels good about after the scrimmage on Saturday. Likes the way the team is practicing. All good things. Take one more, just a little sip. Okay. Come on, just a little sip.
All right, fine. I'll take one more sip.
One more sip of Roulade as we get ready for their 2025 season opener.
And now, the long wait, once spring ball wraps up, then you get into the dog days of summer, and boy, it feels like you haven't seen a football game or any sort of relevant football news for about 3.5 months, and the next thing you know, it's we're opening up and we're kicking off the season. So, yeah. I think things are coming together really nicely, though.
Which is both good and bad, because that means the summer's over. Hell, we haven't even got started yet.
Hell, what happened to March?
Yeah.
We're already flying by. It's tax day, April 16th here, midway through. I was just looking yesterday at the school calendar. I mean, I got 4 weeks left with these students, so we're putting everything on the front burner, and we're just going to fast track the rest of the summer. I'm like, guys, I don't know where the time went. All this time that I had to teach you all this stuff, but here you go. Here's the knowledge. Now let's do our final project. They're getting antsy for it. The end of the semester, summer break, and for some graduation, and I wouldn't be lying if I said that the education side of things wasn't looking forward to it too. So 4 weeks remain here of the school calendar, and we'll keep plugging away. So.
All right, 7:37, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Again, we'd love to have you join us here today, 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330. That's the number you can always reach us by. Whatever's on your mind, we'd love to chat here today. Maybe leave us a message or two on our social media sites. IT guy is checked in. We're going to the playoffs. He says that with a little sarcasm in his voice today.
He's been a Debbie Downer on this Husker football thing. He's not drinking the Roulade like we are.
No, because he's drank it the last couple of years.
And his heart gets broken?
About halfway through the season.
Screw it. That's part of being a Husker fan. That's part of the experience.
Try to keep selling that to true-blooded Husker fans. Try to sell that each and every year.
It's not very hard to sell. All you got to do is say "Go Big," and then everyone's back on board. We're all doing the "Go Big Red" chant, and we're all screaming in Memorial Stadium at the top of our lungs for this football team to run the damn ball. And I don't know.
Maybe it's because we're not going to have a spring game. Yeah, I can't get too fired up about talking about guys in a depth chart and stuff like that in the spring. Usually you have something that you can look forward to in the spring, and that's the spring game, just to see how these guys are panning out. Right now it's all coach speak. We've had it for the last several weeks, including on this show. We've heard from just about every assistant coach here in the past 6 weeks or so. Maybe it's because I don't have anything to really look forward to until the season starts. I can't get too fired up about this spring ball because we don't have a spring game.
But it's three guys that talk football and do coach speak really well, but they're not candid about anything. Like Rule said the other day on the podcast with Urban Meyer, he goes, "I'm in a position now where I'm not afraid to say what I feel because I'm not afraid of getting fired." The guy is going all out and he's being himself and he's talking true when he's talking on the microphone. He's being real with you, and he's being real with the kids, letting them know exactly where they stand on the depth chart. I mean, I just look at this coaching staff and there's just an aura of championship mentality that these guys have had in the past, and they're bringing that and infiltrating that into our system and into Lincoln. And I think that's breathing a lot of breath of fresh air. That's certainly putting more gallons of Roulade out for Husker fans to consume. But when you hear Holgerson and Butler and Rule speak, they're saying all the right things that the fans want to hear. And we're not getting sugar-coated with position battles. We're getting a very accurate representation about what that depth chart's going to look like and what their expectations are, who they're out looking for in the portal. They're being public about all this. They're not being candid or shying away from open and honest responses about the way this program is going and their expectations heading into the season, I think, is, as Shane alluded to in bold letters over here, to go to the college football playoff. I think less than that and less than at least contending for a Big Ten title would be drastically underwhelming for a season. Especially since the buildup has been high and you're returning a quarterback who has all the intangibles and apparently is extremely smart in the film room, and all we got to do is see it on game day, and we haven't seen it on game day yet, and so that's kind of the expectation. I'm still okay without having that spring game, because then that makes that anticipation for what it's going to ultimately be unveiled on the opening week of the season even greater. Waiting patiently till Christmas Day for your Christmas presents instead of opening them on Christmas Eve. You get that kind of kid in Christmas morning kind of feeling to see what this football team's going to look like. But they have not, at any point, has this coaching staff given me reason to doubt what they're saying. And when they're saying they're excited about what they're seeing, it is hard not to drink the Roulade. So I'm all on board.
The transfer portal, the spring window is opening this week, and so far so good. Haven't heard any news, so that's good news that we haven't heard anything from the Huskers in the transfer portal. So nobody's jumping ship this week so far. Yeah, I think it officially opens today, if I'm not mistaken. So, but nothing is really coming out of Lincoln yet as far as anybody hopping into the transfer portal at this point in time. Haven't heard anything about the 105-player roster limit either. Expected some kind of a final decision to be made on that. They were thinking about maybe reconfiguring that and allowing a grandfather clause, or anyway, they were going to talk about that, and we expected some kind of a decision this week.
Mm-hmm. Resolution to the chaos, maybe a final decision. Shane said he's taking that sip when we get to our 8 wins and we get back to the bow years. That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
8 wins is
it'll be stale Roulade by the time it gets around to you, because we'll have had our first sips fresh on the tap from week 1.
8 wins, is that logical?
Yeah.
That's got to be expected, I think, this year. What were we last year? We got 6.
We got our 6. We got 7 in the bowl game.
7 in the bowl game. I would think 8 or 9 would be a realistic goal.
I think 8's your low end. I'm brutally honest with you. 8's your low end.
What's your high end? 10?
Yep.
All right. That's logical.
I'm double digits. I'm shooting for
8 to 10.
Yeah, a huge boost.
10 will get you into the college football playoff.
Maybe.
Wouldn't it? 10?
Maybe.
Maybe.
You'd have to hope so.
Shane says he's going to spike the Roulade. Now we're
That's
talking.
all right, too. Now we're talking.
Now we're gonna, not only are we going to be drinking the Roulade, now Shane's going to spike the Roulade.
So we'll be intoxicated on the Roulade. Beautiful. Sometimes I guess sometimes I feel like I'm already intoxicated on the Roulade because I'm one of those guys that's going to, irregardless of how the previous season ended, come out and get way too excited about the football season, and it's one of those magical days. It's like opening day for baseball, right? When you start off 0-0, anything is possible, and why not go 12-0 and win the Big Ten title and win the Natty while you're at it, get back to the glory years, so to speak. But I just want to see better execution. I want to see better execution when it comes to the late game scenarios, when it comes to the third and shorts, when it comes to first and goal inside the red zone, and not make mistakes. Put points on the board when you have the opportunity to put points. Don't take away points from yourself by doing stupid mistakes. And, then stop somebody on the other side. Maybe put a little bit more pressure. I don't think our blitz packages were disguised enough last year or even dispersed enough. I want to see us start to put some heat on the opposing quarterback, and you throw all those things together, we'll see what happens. But
you're looking for the perfect game.
I'm looking for the perfect games. Like, I want that to be a trend for the entire season. And I think that with this team and with this coaching staff, that should be the expectation, is that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot and that we apply some pressure. And we make people feel like when they play Nebraska, that they're playing a top 10 team. That's what I want people to feel like.
Opposing teams need to fear us again.
Yeah, but they're not scared.
No, they're not scared to come in.
No one's
Lincoln
scared to come into Memorial Stadium. No one's scared of the crowd.
Not like
noise.
it used to be. Not like it used to be. Yeah, they need to fear us, and they need to fear us coming into Lincoln to play. We need to make that thing like a snake pit, like down in. You fear going to LSU and playing at night.
Hell yeah, you do.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There's some venues around the nation that you don't want to go play in. Ohio State.
Yep.
You don't want to play at Ohio State. You don't want to play really at Michigan.
Don't want to play in Happy Valley when they white out the stadium and for their night games. I mean, these are places that you go in and you're going to get rattled. We saw it a little bit last year, but not enough. Where teams would get down to the huddle and then they were showing the comm system and how the comm system was working, and they were trying to turn it up and you couldn't hear it, and the QB had to take some timeouts. Man, that used to be every game for the first 3 plays of the quarter, where we would expel all of their timeouts because they literally couldn't hear to do a check down on an audible, or even couldn't hear the snap count. We got to get back to that again.
All right, so
and that comes with winning.
It really comes down to
run the damn ball. Let's go.
God,
let's go.
Just run the ball.
We
don't.
Bruisers.
I guess I shouldn't keep throwing that out there. We got to be more than just run the damn ball.
Run the damn ball to set up the damn pass.
We need another little button assist.
Run the ball. Physically bruise the defensive line so that by the second half, when they're just tired of getting the crap kicked out of them, then you pop them over the air for some big gainers, and then they have no answer for you defensively, and then you run away with the game, and then your subs are in the fourth quarter, and all is right with the world because we beat the brakes off somebody. We forgot how to do that at some point, and we got to get back to it because that was fun.
I didn't think we'd go off on the Husker football tangent like we did today.
You told me to take that extra sip of Roulade, and that set me over the top.
I'm concerned about what we're going to talk about in May and June when we have no Husker football to talk about.
Hopefully some Husker softball in the Women's College World Series.
Yeah, this is a 12-month show that you signed up for. We got to have some topics in May and June, except for Husker football.
Plenty of baseball be had.
Well, I don't know. Husker baseball might be over by then, the way we're playing right now. St. Louis Cardinals, you haven't mentioned them. I assume they're not playing well? Because if they were, you would have been mentioning them.
Well, no, honestly, they're where they should be.
Come on.
Dropped a game last night to Houston, but over the weekend they picked up 2 or 3 from Philadelphia, and that's nothing to sneeze at because Philadelphia is, God, they're so dangerous. 1 through 9, anybody on that lineup can get.
Are they above 500?
They got 2 good pitching performances.
No.
Are they above 500? I think they're right at that mark. They are 1 game below it. Last night they dropped below the 500 mark.
Yeah,
so 8-9, getting set to wrap up this little series with the Houston Astros over at Busch Stadium. They have an afternoon game today, but they've gotten really good pitching performances.
And there's
some guys that were not expected to pitch really well. They were kind of bullpen guys last year. Matt Liberatore and Andre Palante, they both held the Phillies off the scoreboard, so 2 shutouts in that weekend series. But I haven't been talking about them lately because the Blues hockey's been so exciting.
Yeah, 145 games to go in the regular season.
Did you math that just now?
So that's 145 games to go. So that's why we haven't been talking about the St. Louis Cardinals baseball team. Plenty of time to talk about the Cardinals if and when they get hot. Yeah, your Blues are in. So the playoffs, when do they get started? This weekend?
We have one thing to decide left in the Eastern Conference. There's games today, games tomorrow. Then the regular season will come to a close. I believe playoffs will get started up next week.
Right in tune with the NBA, so they'll be going at the same time. So
NBA, NHL, they match their postseason together. Eastern Conference, it is down to either the Habs, otherwise known as the Montreal Canadiens, and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets are 2 back, but have the tiebreaker. So if Montreal wins tonight against Carolina, Montreal is in. If they lose, then the Columbus Blue Jackets could play their way in with a game on Thursday against the Islanders. That's the last remaining spot for the postseason.
So the Ice is heading to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
NBA basketball headed to the playoffs.
And I'll say this about playoff hockey.
Both of those sports will probably crown their champions like in June.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, mid-June.
This is April.
That's if those babies don't go 7. Like, so if you get a lot of games going 7, we could peak into early July.
You're kidding me.
Yeah.
You're kidding me. The playoffs are going to last until July?
Well, I mean, hopefully be lighting off fireworks for a Blues Stanley Cup championship.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
But I'll say this. If you've never experienced, if you don't regularly watch hockey, watch a playoff hockey game. It's an entirely different breed of hockey that you don't see much of throughout the year. There's 2 brands of hockey which I absolutely love and will trumpet and will be a champion for. That's live hockey, which there's nothing better than a hockey game live, especially if you got glass seats and you're right there on the ice. I don't care what level of hockey it is. It's amazing. And then playoff hockey. It's a completely different animal, a completely different beast. And the intensity, the physicality, everything that you want for drama, it's all there. I'm going to challenge you, man. I watched a NASCAR race for you the other day. I watched a couple laps of a NASCAR race. I shouldn't go that far. Watch a playoff hockey game this year.
I'll watch a period.
There you go.
If you watched NASCAR racing, then I'll go ahead and watch a period.
Laps.
How many laps?
The last 10.
That ain't bad.
The last 10.
That ain't bad to start.
So, yeah, watch the third period when it gets exciting.
You let me know what game to watch.
Your luck, it'll go to overtime and double overtime.
Yeah. All right. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports at 7:53.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We'll start off in Kearney, where there's exciting news for the campus of UNK. In addition to U.S. Highway 30 near the University of Nebraska-Kearney campus, expected to improve pedestrian safety in the high-traffic area, as work started last month on a $3.5 million project that will add a roundabout at the intersection of 30 and University Drive. That's the main entrance to the University Village Development Office. The change will make the intersection safer for pedestrians and easier to navigate for motorists exiting the University Village and Kearney's West Campus. The entire project, including landscaping, expects to wrap up around mid-November. UNK is providing $1.5 million for the funding, while the state of Nebraska is contributing around another $1.5 million, and the city of Kearney paying about $380,000. Glenn Bretthauer, a longtime stalwart of the Hastings Municipal Airport, was honored earlier this year with his induction into the Nebraska Aviation Council Hall of Fame. He's held several roles at the airport over the years. Those roles include operating the fixed base operations in the 1990s, as well as working as a mechanic on the field for several years. Bretthauer, certified flight instructor, also has trained several pilots to fly, as well as kept several pilots current on training over the years. A proposal to change how the remains from elective abortions are disposed of is moving forward in the Nebraska legislature. The effort, led by Senator Dan Lanowski here from District 33, who made this bill his personal priority for this session, said the legislation does not limit the right to abortion, but critics are calling it a backdoor attempt to ban the practice in Nebraska. 5 minutes until 8 o'clock. We'll head back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's the haps in sports?
Well, the Nebraska baseball team beat Creighton 6-3 last night at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha. Nebraska scored 6 runs on 12 hits, while Creighton totaled 3 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. Dylan Carey went 3 for 3 at the plate with 2 doubles and a pair of RBIs. Ryan Harrihill was the starting pitcher and surrendered a pair of runs in just 1 inning of work. Nebraska now 17-20 on the season. They will host Northwestern in a 3-game series coming up this weekend. Former Nebraska volleyball libero Lexi Rodriguez made history last night, becoming the first Nebraska volleyball student-athlete to win the AAU James E. Sullivan Award, presented each year to the most exceptional athlete at the collegiate, Olympic, or other elite level of sports in the United States. Rulon Gardner is the only other Nebraska student-athlete to receive this award. Rodriguez joins a renowned list of recipients. Last year, Caitlin Clark became the first 2-time winner of this award. Rodriguez was announced the winner of the 95th AAU Sullivan Award at the New York Athletic Club. Hastings High baseball team beat Elkhorn North 5-4 yesterday. Quarterfinals of the Eastern Midlands Conference Baseball Tournament out at Duncan Field. Hastings now 8-4 in the season. They'll play at Bennington in the semifinals tomorrow. First pitch will be at 4:30. Adams Central baseball team, they lost to Seward 7-6 yesterday. Patriots are now 10-4 on the season. They'll play host to Aurora on Thursday. First pitch will be at 4:30 at the Smith Complex. Elsewhere in high school baseball yesterday, Central City Centura beat Crete 6-2. Kearney defeated Lincoln Northeast 8-3. Grand Island rolled past Norfolk 10-2. And St. Paul Palmer got by Twin River 5-4. NBA playoff games last night. The play-in games, Orlando beat Atlanta 120-95. Golden State got by Memphis 121-116. Tonight, Miami plays at Chicago, and Dallas is at Sacramento.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
On this Wednesday, it'll be the warmest day of the week, and guess what? The winds return as well. Hey everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Weather TV. 83 is the high on this Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine. Southerly winds 10 to 15, gusting into the mid-20s. Overnight tonight, we increase chances for a few area showers and thunderstorms, a low of 56. 84 as well on Thursday, and then chances of a few passing showers and thunderstorms in the evening. Some could be severe. Large hail, damaging winds, the main threats.
South winds this morning at 12 miles per hour, 46 degrees at Extreme Sports.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
All right, Mike Will and Tyson Abronic. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Wednesday. Not a whole lot on the sports calendar for today locally. Got some college baseball coming up tomorrow with Hastings College in Midland. We got the high school baseball games with Hastings High and Bennington. Adams Central will play Aurora tomorrow, but the slate pretty well clean for today.
Smooth sailing. What's the big plans for the day?
Oh, there's lots to do on the honeydew list today. I
was gonna say, you want to help me mow?
I think I'll be out as well.
Okay.
So is this a morning chore today, or is this an afternoon chore?
I'm gonna try to get it done in the morning while it's not so warm. Temperatures expected to be to the 80s by like the evening. So if I can knock this out early when it's when it's not steamy or a little bit on the warm side, the all the better. So
yeah, I got a couple of things I got to do, and then that's high on my list for today. When my neighbors start mowing before I do, then that makes you look bad. Because usually I'm the one that mows and he's the one that doesn't mow for like weeks and weeks at a time, and he's got like a forest. But I noticed the other day he was out mowing, which makes me look real bad because I haven't mowed yet this year.
Yep. Nope. Both of my neighbors to both sides, they did their lawn. I thought that we had a pact as neighbors, like that we were going to be in this together, and that we were going to like let it go and be lazy for another 3 or 4 days. They went out and mowed this weekend, and then like my neighbor to the east was giving me like subtle hints, like kept her mower out in the driveway and was like cranking it a few different times, maybe just to like try to get me out of the house and mowing. Like I said, I put it off. I thought maybe I had another week to let it grow and let it go, but it's getting a little jungly out there. So
have you mowed yet this year? Have you mowed yet?
This will be attempt 1.
So you don't even know if your lawnmower is going to start.
The hell is going to start? It's a snapper, man.
One pole,
most reliable. Sometimes 2. Sometimes
even coming out of the winter. 2 poles.
Well, it might be a 2-pole start today.
Then you got to figure out if you got gas.
Oh, I'm going to put new gas in it. Get some new gas.
So do you have a gas can full of gas?
It's not full of gas yet. I'll have to run over to the gas station and get it full.
So it might be afternoon before we get this project underway.
Come on. How long does it take to get my ass up and get going to the gas station?
Well, number one, you got to get your ass up, number one.
Well,
then you got to go out, get the mower out of the shed.
You're right.
And then you got to hop in the car.
Oh, we're teetering on 11:30.
Then you got to go down and get some gas. Fill up your mower full of gas, and you know it's not going to start.
It's going to start.
And then you screw around with trying to get you. It'll be an afternoon.
It has to start because I got to work at 3. So
you got to push this along.
I have a small window to get this baby going.
Well, we'll check on the progress tomorrow. If you'd like to listen to the show again, you can. Just go to our podcast section or one of our social media sites. Download the podcast of this show, even on the Roku TV. You can do it there. There's a special place where you can listen and watch this show again. Don't forget about the Extreme Sports Trivia game that we have debuted. It's on our website if you want to check her out today, x-streamsports.com/trivia. Get registered to play. It's absolutely free. Only reason you're registering is so we can kind of track to see how smart you are.
Track the
to
progress.
see if you can oust the IT guy who must have lots of time to play sports trivia. He's on top of the standings right now.
Please take him down. One quick shout out before we bid adieu for the day. Lou's going in for surgery. Lou Dog, one of our loyal listeners here on the show, so we wish him the best and hopefully a good surgery and a speedy recovery. And we look forward to getting you back in the lobby real soon, my guy.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We can't be missing Lou Dog.
Nope.
Can't be missing Lou Dog. So
too many baseball games to roll through this summer without him. So.
All right. Have yourself a good day. Have fun out mowing the yard today.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
I can't think of anything better to do except mow the yard. So, anyway, have yourself a great day. We'll do it again tomorrow morning at 7 here on Extreme Sports.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.